Hi, I'm Amy from White Acres, and I help business owners feel really confident about how their business looks so that they don't feel nervous or icky about sending out all of their information to tell people about what they do. So today Salma has joined us to talk about authentic marketing on a zero budget. So do you want to tell people a little bit about you?
Yes, thank you so much for having me, Amy. So I'm Salma Jafri from salmajafri.com, and I basically got started with authentic promotion because that's something that I personally had a big problem with, right? I was like, okay, so I'm doing all of this stuff, but how do I tell people about all of the stuff that I'm doing, and how do I promote myself? And it just made me feel really spammy to just like self-promote. And so I started to find ways to talk about my business in a way that helped other people and showed value. And so now I do that for my clients and for customers as well.
Brilliant.
So that's how I started, yeah.
I have a selection of questions to ask you that people have sent in. So I've got Nimra's question. She's got 3. So I'm going to start with our second one because I think that's a really good one to start with, which is what do you mean when you say zero budget? Because, you know, even if you have a WordPress blog or any sort of website or anything, you still have quite a bit of investment up front. So what do you mean when you say zero budget?
All right, so I love this question, right? Because I think a lot of people have this fear that, all right, first I need to spend money to make money. And I mean, I love the internet, I love online technology, and there's so much free stuff out there. So, okay, so first a disclaimer, a website is absolutely essential, and you need a hub for your operations, and you need a place for credibility and to build your reputation. But it doesn't need to be the first step, right? You don't need to be in business by spending money on a website. So there are a lot of ways that you can start to make money and start to build credibility without a website. So for example, if you want to sell an online course, right, you could host it for free on, say, Udemy or Thinkific. You could use free PowerPoint or Keynote or even Google Slides to, make your slides and do a voiceover narration over that. So, that is all completely free. You could build a course completely for free and market it. Another example would be, say, you want to build your email list, right? And so you could get a free MailChimp account, and you could put in your opt-in box on Facebook for lead generation. You could use Twitter lead cards and, ask people to opt in over there. And so essentially you're tying in MailChimp plus social networks to build your email list completely for free, right? Or as a third example, I don't know, say you want to write an ebook, for example, right? So you use Word which is already on your system, and you can convert that into a PDF file, and then you can sell it on eJunkie, right? And they have like a free 1-week trial, and then you can market that book and make some money, and then maybe get onto their first payment plan, which is like $5 a month. So like not a huge investment there, right? So I think that So I think the problem is not a lack of resources, but more a lack of resourcefulness. Like we just need to be a little bit clever and find, there's so much out there. There's so many free tools. There's so much free advice. There's so much free tech that you can use, or like very cheap versions of it and free trials and stuff. So it's absolutely possible to start content marketing and build a business on a zero budget.
Brilliant. I hope that helped, Nimra. So that was brilliant. Certainly some things in there that I need to do. So the next question was, is content aggregation a white hat SEO technique or black hat, and how can we efficiently use it?
Okay, so when I think aggregation, content aggregation, I think machine generated content. And I'm thinking that machines are neither good or bad. Technology is neither good or bad. So it really depends on whoever's programming that tech. It could be like all spammy links in your content aggregation, or it could be useful content, right? So it could be white, it could be black, you don't really know. But I think better than content aggregators, I think a more useful technique is content curation. So curation is a manual process that anyone can do. They can just put together a list of useful, relevant material for their audience, put some thought into it, and put some value into it. So for example, maybe if you're making a list, you could do it chronology wise, or you could put together a list which shows different products and compare shop them. So you could have like a comparison shopping list. So I think aggregation I'm not too fond of, but curation absolutely as a marketing strategy.
Brilliant. That's Great. Okay. And her next question was, what are the current trends of marketing? She's asking specifically for content. So what sort of content are people more interested to read or share?
Well, this is 2016, so I would say live streaming. Like, absolutely, there's no doubt about it. There's Periscope, there's Facebook Live, there's Blab, there's a Snapchat. So, I mean, live streaming apps are really, really popular as a content trend right now, and there are more apps and technologies coming up. And so that's a pretty cool trend. And I think it's also because people want to interface with another person, right? They want that person-to-person interaction. And I think they're just tired of doing business with like nameless, faceless corporations. And it's business is getting more personal. So live streaming apps for sure.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with that. Yeah. Okay, so Samantha says, what is the best way to grow social media followings quickly while still remaining organic, like not running contests or paying for sponsored posts?
Yeah, so Samantha, this question is actually like right in line with what I do. Like this is exactly what I train people in. So I love getting this question, right? So I have a few tips, right? So the first one to getting organic views on social media is to stay native to the platform, right? So if you are using, say, Facebook, for instance, now Facebook right now loves native video content. That means that you upload video directly on Facebook versus linking to it from YouTube or some other place, right? And the Facebook algorithm changes, every year or every few months or whatever. So right now the Facebook algorithm shows videos uploaded to Facebook more frequently in your audience's newsfeed than it shows other types of content. I mean, last year it was images with text, right? That was like the go-to thing. Everyone was making like quote cards and memes and images and all of that, right? Everyone was doing it. It was a big trend. So my first tip is to be native to your platform and make content that will work on that platform. So the second tip for organic growth is to post when your audience is online. I mean, that's pretty straightforward. And you can find when your audience is online using your analytics. So Facebook Insights, Twitter Analytics, Instagram Analytics. So they will all tell you when your audience is online. So post at that time. The third one would be that I think in the beginning, you should experiment with different styles of content and different frequencies to find what works for your particular business. There's no one size fits all, right? It really depends on who your audience is, what industry you're in, and some people can get away with posting like 10 times a day. Their audience loves that, and some people should just post like maybe once a day. So you need to experiment with different styles and frequencies and just find what works for you.
Great.
I think my last tip would be that share stories and share personal stories that relate to your business in some way. Because I think that, when you put in emotion in a post and when you are vulnerable and authentic, that just draws people to you like a swarm of bees, right? Everyone just sort of comes to you. And so, share things that make you uncomfortable. Share your wins, share things that you're celebrating. People love congratulating you, okay? People love saying good luck or yay, congratulations. So share your wins and share personal stuff. And every time someone comments or likes, then that extends your reach because it shows other people in their audience, to come to your post and check that out. So, if you want to extend your organic reach, your goal is to share something that is emotional. So people are going to comment on it, and then you're going to increase, the chances of other people seeing that as well.
Great. I feel like Samantha's quite good at that already.
I think, yeah, I think a lot of us are. I think women are better at this, though.
Yeah. She sells baby carriers and does adaptations to them, like slings that you wrap your child in to carry it around. And she does already do quite a lot of stuff, which is quite personal because she's got 3 kids. So I think that's good. So
yeah, absolutely. I mean, gone is the era where we used to hide behind, oh, we have kids, it should be quiet, not be seen. I think, it should be like front and center, I have this video, I haven't put it up yet, but I have this video in which my kid is like holding on to my leg while I'm filming a video. And I'm like, that's a blooper reel.
Oh no. I did a video once with my son when he was about 2 months old, and you can hear him the whole time. I'm talking really, 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 really fast because I'm hurrying to finish, because he's like sitting on the floor down here.
And you're like terrified that they're going to throw a tantrum any second. And you get this.
So Kelly says, how do you come up with ideas? That's quite hard, Sheree.
You know what? My problem is not coming up with ideas. My problem is actually keeping my ideas organized so that I can actually get to them when I need them. But yeah, I see ideas everywhere, like everywhere. So I think the trick is to be really, really observant, and have some kind of note-taking app with you at all times, right? So some people prefer having a physical notebook. Some people like me use Evernote. So it's like I'm always on my smartphone jotting down these ideas and stuff, right? And write down whatever catches your fancy. So I remember there was this one post that I wrote. It was about everything I learned about marketing, I learned from my kids.
Yeah.
And that was like, literally, it was a direct result of watching my kids playing. And I was like, oh, brainwave. All right, there you go. You know, I'm like literally matching these two completely separate fields, marketing and parenting, and sort of marrying them together. The other way that I generate ideas is that I read online all the time, right? So I'm reading other people's content and their stories and stuff. And so I do what is called, I think it's called like a gap analysis, where you read something and you think, oh, you know, here's what I want to add to this. Here's how I would present this. Here's my opinion on this topic. There you go. That's your voice. That's your topic, right? When you see what's missing from the content that's already available in your industry and you can add to that, then that's where you get your best ideas from, because you already know that this is a conversation that's taking place and you have a unique perspective on it and you can add to that. So, yeah.
Great. Okay. Lisa asks, have you got any tips for getting people to sign up to your email list?
Yes, Lisa, I have 2 tips, just 2. And those 2 are the most crucial ones for email, sign up. So the first one is have an amazingly epic offer, right? You need to have an opt-in offer that you know your audience is going to absolutely love. So have like an irresistible freebie, right? So that's one. And the second thing is tell everyone about it in all the places that you can possibly tell. So pin it to the top of your Twitter timeline. Make it a sticky post on your Facebook page. Like make it prominent, make it big, make it on your homepage. And I wanna talk about an example here of Buffer, the social media scheduling firm. So they had this. They conducted this experiment in where they wanted to increase their signups. And so previously they used to have one form that was sort of like a pop-up slide-up form on their homepage. And so they added 8 more touch points. That's 8 more. And so they had like they put up a hello bar. They made like their homepage bigger. They had like a sidebar ad. Then at the end of every post, they had like a postscript sign up. They had a Twitter lead gen card. They had a Facebook opt-in page. And so they basically went from, I think, about 2,000 email signups a month to more than 5,000 email signups a month. Simply,
I had my website.
Yeah. Just make the ask. Tell people, sign up. Tell people in all the ways that you can. Put it up everywhere and have an amazing offer. Just 2 tips.
Well, there you go, Lisa. She should be sorted. So, wow. Okay, so Lorna, this is the last question. Lorna's question is quite long. So she says, having only just started actively using Twitter and about to try and be more present on LinkedIn, she'd like to understand when she should be assessing what works and what doesn't. So is this after 1 month or 3 months? And also, do you have any tips on success criteria for this? So there's obviously all the interaction and reach numbers for each Twitter post, which she feels is quite micro. But at the other end of the spectrum, there's whether she gets any business from it, which obviously is the main goal for most people. But she's not sure what she should expect to see within 3 months. So any ideas on how she can assess what works and what doesn't?
Yeah. So I think what I'm understanding is that she just really wants to know how to measure analytics and what the numbers mean? How to make sense of them, right? So it's a two-part question. So on the first part, I definitely recommend any business to start by using a 3-month yardstick. And in fact, I'm so much in favor of having like a 3-month plan that I have a course coming out called Content Marketing the First 90 Days. So it's like literally what to do. Yeah, it's literally what to do in the first 3 months, because I think that really sets the foundation for what you do later on. So the first 3 months are pretty crucial. So now, what do you measure in those 3 months? So it really depends on what's important to you. So if email subscribers are important to you, so you set a benchmark, okay, I want to, build my email list to whatever is important to you, 100 subscribers, 200, 500, 1,000 in this 3-month period. And then you go and measure that, And then I think where most people get scared is if they're not meeting those numbers, they feel scared and they stop measuring. And it's okay to tweak it and to readjust and to, to sort of tweak your numbers, right? So if you're not meeting that goal, you go back to the drawing board, change your strategy, try something new, and then readjust your numbers and try again. So, keep doing that. So the typical metrics that matter, there are three main metrics, right? So the first one is your consumption metric. So consumption metric is, are people consuming your content? Are they reading it? Are they watching? Are they listening? Right? So that's the first thing that you want to measure. The second thing you want to measure is your conversion metrics. So lead gen, right? Out of all the people who are watching, how many are actually doing what you're asking them to do? Are they subscribing? Are they downloading? Are they, opting into your free offer? Are they taking up your trial? Are they, taking your coupon? So are they actually, converting? And then the third metric is probably the one that everyone really loves, is the sales metric, right? And one of the easiest ways to track sales online is if you use Google Analytics, then you can set up a goal. Okay, so how many people complete checkout, right? So how many people complete checkout? And, that's how you can track your sales metric. And I think that what's really important is that you want to know what your marketing funnel looks like. So how are people coming in? Where are they being converted into leads? Where are they buying? So you really want to understand the whole process. You want to really understand your buyer's behavior, right? How are they behaving? At what point do they drop off? I think more important than any of these metrics is understanding your marketing funnel by watching these metrics. So, after you get all of these numbers and you have all of this data coming in and everything, then you sort of need to make sense of these analytics, right? I had a client who really wanted to focus on Facebook, right? Who was like, yeah, we really need to focus on Facebook because that's where our market is and everything. And after 3 months, when we looked at his referral stats, from Google Analytics, it turns out that 72% of his referrals were coming in from LinkedIn. And we're like, why do you want to focus on Facebook? LinkedIn, where your market is. The numbers are not lying. So you really need to be able to make sense of the numbers and what are they telling you. So that's hopefully my answer to Lorraine.
That's it. So that says 3 months is a good time frame to
absolutely
look at the numbers in. So that's brilliant. Okay, so do you have any other tips that you'd like to share on authentic marketing on the zero budget? What do you think?
Sure.
Quite a lot. Look.
In case this is not enough.
Yeah.
So, yeah, one more. I think one of the things that I love to talk about is the overwhelm of content creation. So people think, oh, we need to keep creating, all of this content. And they forget the other side of content marketing. There's content, and then there's marketing, right? So, okay, you're creating this content, but you also need to focus on the promotion, the distribution, and the marketing. In fact, I like to invoke the 80-20 rule here and say that you should focus 20% of your time in creating epic stuff and 80% of your time in actually promoting that epic stuff.
Yeah.
And that way you don't have burnout, you don't have overwhelm, you're not constantly frazzled that you have to create. And you can sort of give your content creation some breathing room. So 80-20.
Great. You've written that, haven't you? or done a video on that I've watched.
I
So
have a video, and it'll eventually be a book. Yes.
I'll link that underneath the video somewhere. So yeah, brilliant. Okay,
Great.
so I know that you've got an ebook on 25 free and feel-good ways to authentically promote your content. So do you want to tell people a little bit about that and where they can get it from? Because I think that would really lead on nicely from this and help them a bit more.
Sure. So this is like a PDF. It's a guide as well as a checklist of, after you've created content, 25 ways to promote that in a way that feels good, makes you feel good, and makes your audience feel good. So you can grab this for free from my website. That's salmajafri.com/subscribe. And yeah, that's where you can get it from.
Wonderful. So yeah, that's it. So that's wonderful. I think there's a lot of stuff in there. So I'm going to write some notes from it underneath the video and all the links to various different things that have been mentioned. And I think that's going to be really helpful for all the people who sent in questions, but also everyone else who watched the video as well. So thank you so much.
I have to say that the questions were really good. I mean, I really enjoyed them. They were really on point. They're really good questions. So I love your audience. I love your marketing.
It was like 2 days ago, and I thought, oh, I should probably ask for some questions because they'll probably come up with better questions than I will. And then I was like, well, I don't see any questions. And I've had loads, so I'm really pleased. So that's fantastic.
Awesome.
So thank you very much.
Thank you so much for having me.